What's up?
Yeah, how's it going, bro?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Yeah, you off school or you still going on right now?
Nah, I'm still in school.
Yeah, are you guys back like in session or are you guys still doing online?
It's like a mix. Like we're all on campus and some people have classes like, in person or whatever, but a lot of people don't. I know
Yeah, I
I
was
could have
wondering because it was kind of weird, like how everything's going back to normal. Well, I mean, I guess trying to, I guess.
they trying their hardest, but it ain't working.
I know, right? I could feel a shutdown maybe coming back in, but maybe not like a full shutdown, but something like it. Because I don't know. I feel like once everything starts opening up again, just gonna get crazy.
Like this is the third week, I believe. I believe it's the third week. After the second week, everybody stopped coming to class because they were out. They got tested positive, and so literally the classes that I do have like on campus or whatever, it's usually just like three of us in there, and the rest of them are quarantined.
That's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. It's a crazy time we live in.
They should have just left it closed.
That's what I was saying.
Papa Powell got the funds. He could have did some.
Right? Could shoot you guys a little something there to keep you guys going.
This pivots thing is hard as hell. I really don't understand it.
Oh, really? All right. So let's see. Have you tried one recently, or is there one that you're looking at? Because I can pull up.
Yeah, I did NAS, and
Okay.
it may or may not have reversed.
Let's see. I'll pull it up right now. So you're doing NAV on which time frame?
The 10-minute.
All right. Cool. So the thing with the indices is that the market's just been moving, crazy the past couple of days. I'm sure you're aware, since I think yesterday when Nas dropped like crazy down here. It's just super unpredictable. But I mean, it still does work. So let's see. Did you try to grab this entry right here?
No, it's that let me see.
We can analyze it to see, what went wrong there.
It was that recent buy candle.
All right, not this one right here, right? Or
yeah,
is it this
one? I entered on that next candle after it.
Okay, cool. So I'll just rewind to that candle. So yeah, pretty much everything here lined up. So the first requirement, you just identify the trend using the K² pivot. So obviously when price is above the pivots and the pivots are angling upwards and then spread out, that would confirm that price is trending upwards. Next, you identify the retracement. So you did that properly. So price came up, retraced from this point, and then it came down. For the third requirement, you identify the rejection. So you can see, price came up right here, pulled back, then it rejected off this point. And then of course your last requirement right here, this provided for, a valid entry. So you did analyze that properly. The only caveat would be probably identifying your swing because the indices have been moving crazy like this whole week. So normally, your swing could probably be here or like at the last pivot. But yeah. I mean, even if you look at like Wade's trade, his stop loss are pretty far out because the problem with the indices, today and yesterday and a little bit of last week, they've been moving like a lot more than how they normally do. So I think you probably see. I think if your stop loss is right here, you might have gone stopped out. Let's see. Oh no, it's still going. So technically, it's still active right now. Did you get stopped out, or is your stop loss close?
Oh yeah, I got stopped out because last couple of times I played with Nas and U30. Oh my
god. Yeah, because I'm assuming you put your stop loss right here, right? The swing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I think this would be too close because just the way it's moving. Generally, I would put it like probably at the last pivot right here, just because the way that it's been moving lately. You can even see this entry right here. So if you took this entry, let me just back up to it. Like the market's just moving like super erratic. So if you took this entry right here, same situation. It's trending up. You have the retracement right here. You have the rejection right here, and then you have the buy signal. So the thing is, if you put your stop loss too close on this one, like right here, it looks like it went like on a stop loss sign, like it literally pulled back and then it shot up. See how that happened right there?
Yeah.
So you kind of have to give it a little more cushion. I think um, the cushion that I was putting, because I don't really trade NAS, I trade US 30. So generally, I think for NAS it was about like a 1400 or 1500 stop loss. So if you did have your stop loss a little farther back, or even farther back down here to the previous swing, so not the initial swing, but the swing before that,
Yeah.
you probably would have been better. But the only problem is, it's a lot of risk, especially if your account's not big enough to handle it. Because if you did do that and you put it back here, then obviously you probably would have hit TP or close to it. But it's just the way that the market's moving right now, because obviously if you took these over here, you'd be in a different situation because it just wasn't moving as well. We'll go back to like the previous. So this was last week, like on the 7th, or when was the 7th?
Before that SoftBank dude did what he did.
Yeah, but before all that, because all the crazy stuff started happening on Friday, I think, on the 4th. So if we go back to like the 1st, let's just pull it back to over there. So yeah, like last week, if you were applying the strategy last week, it would have worked out perfectly. Your stop loss wouldn't have to be too crazy far back. You could literally put it at the swing, or so the swing would have been somewhere around there, and you'd have been perfectly fine if you took the strategy last week. It's just this week, because there's so much going on that's pushing price like a lot farther than it should be going. Like even if you took this trade here, you'd have been perfectly fine. Same situation with here. So like when the market's moving normally, it actually works pretty well. A lot of people made a lot of profit trading this last week, but I know this week it's just been super rocky just because of the price spikes. Because normally you can see here like for the entire day. So let's see, it's around like 6:30. So you can see it moves like about from the low to the high. It moves like 3,000 pips. That's like huge movement compared to how price was moving, like say last week. So like last week, you could like measure it from, what was it, from like 6? Actually, last week was crazy too. But it wasn't moving like how it was this week. Because I think that's when the drop started, right, on Friday. Were you trading last Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember everyone was like on a buy frenzy with NASDAQ, and then it just dropped like crazy. Like it was, oh my, it's not loading. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So it was like literally just going straight up, and then these crazy drops just created like different, like crazy spikes in price. So it's kind of being manipulated right now, because you're not really sure, if it's going to correct back up or if it's going to drop further. So I mean, even where it is right now, I actually got burned on NASDAQ last night because I put my stop loss too close for the same entry. Or was it this right here? I literally lost like a ton of money off this trade right here. Because I wasn't expecting this huge drop right here. Like this is a huge drop from here to down here. It's like 1,000 pips, and it was during the Asia session. Or no, was this yesterday morning?
It
Yeah,
looked
yesterday.
like it, yeah.
Yeah, did you check this one too?
Nah.
Okay, good thing you did it. But yeah, I think just due to the current market conditions, you got to have a really big stop loss just to survive these crazy movements, because price is just spiking up and down. Like if your stop loss was wide enough, you would have been fine for this trade. But just due to the fact that it's moving so fast, it's kind of hard to really predict where it's going to move. And I'm not familiar with NASDAQ, so I don't know what's the sweet spot to move your to set your TP and stop loss. But I know for US 30, so if you're trading US 30, I know 1,500 is the good sweet spot. Like even for the entry today, like I didn't take this entry even though I probably should have. You know how the daily entry works, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So if you're using the daily strategy, I mean it works with NASDAQ too, but if you're using the daily strategy here, it literally just hit TP, but then it bounced back up. So I know that this is like the sweet spot for US 30. I'm just not familiar with NASDAQ. Have you like back tested NASDAQ enough to know what's the natural range for that specific session?
No, not really. I don't really know the range for it.
Yeah.
I know the different, like the major supports and resistances for it. And I think the next resistance was like 12,000 something. So it's nowhere near it yet, but
Yeah, but they ended up dropping like that, huh? Let's see. Let me try on the SR. I'll see where you're familiar with the SR, right?
yeah.
So let's see. Well, it looks like it was right at resistance actually at that time of that entry. So that's probably what caused it to drop. But let's see. Let's just draw this right here. So on the specific time frame, it looks like it was right at resistance. But it's kind of hard to tell because if you're measuring it on the shorter time frame, it's hard to identify. But yeah, so let's just mark this up right here and then hide it. So it looks like it was right at it, right there. And it looks like that's where it rejected from, right? Yeah, because it came straight down to that point. Yeah, it rejected right off this resistance up here for a double top, I'm assuming. I mean, I don't do price action, but it looks like a double top to me. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of different factors that you could have factored in. Me personally, I don't really use the SRs on when I'm using the pivot strategy for scalping because I try to get in and out really quick.
Yeah.
But it looks like that was probably a double top right there. I don't know. Do you see it? Like this
Sort
point
of,
right
a
here.
little bit.
Yeah, because the thing is when so I just rewinded to that point where price was, and there was actually an SR there already. But I mean, like there was no way for us to really tell if it was going to break right through it, because even though there was a zone right there, it could have might as well just broken right through it, like it did right here. Yeah, I mean that'd be a tough call, honestly. But is there anything else that you don't understand about the strategy, or is that just this
It
was
was
like
just
the
the pivots.
yeah, but you understand what the requirements are, right? Because you identified a good entry right there. Like technically, this would have been a good entry if it didn't reject off this resistance over here.
Does the pivots work on like FX pairs or not?
Yeah. So it works. It works on pretty much anything. So if you want to use it on FX, it just really depends on what time frame you're going to be using it on. Because obviously, on the shorter time frames, price is going to be jumpy, especially if you're using it on indices. So me personally, if I was taking this trade, I would have, as soon as it went into profit, I would have just moved my stop loss in profit, especially because the way that price is moving. But if you want to use it on FX pairs, it works the same way too. Is there like an FX pair that you like to trade that we could probably look at?
Right now I'm in GJ and UJ, I believe.
Gotcha. Are you scalping or are you doing intraday?
I'm gonna hold it to get to some point that I like.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I found it to work really well on the higher time frames. It does work on the shorter time frames too, but usually what I like to do is, so say if I identify this one right here, because you can see, obviously the requirements were met. You can see it's trending up. We had a retracement up here, then a rejection down here, then a buy signal. So basically, if you want to scalp it, the way I do it personally, I mark it up on the 4-hour. So I'll have it marked up like this. And then if you want to scalp within it, because this is how I make most of my profits if I'm trying to scalp within it. So I would run, the full position on the 4-hour. But then once I have this set up right here, I'll just go on the shorter time frame. Like if you want to scalp it on the 10-minute or the 30-minute, whichever time frame you like to trade on.
Yeah.
You can just scalp it within there. So once you have this lined up, because this is lined up for the 4 hour, you could literally take like basically every buy entry that comes up and then pretty much write it up. Because there would be a buy entry right here, buy entry right here, buy entry right there. So instead of just taking that full profit, you would have taken that full profit plus you would have taken, you know, 1, 2, 3 extra more wins right there. I don't know if like that's something that you noticed when you were trading it.
I hit buy and just
You
let
just
it
let it
sit.
go. Yeah. Yeah, because the pivots actually work really good on the higher time frame. So you can see right here, you know, it worked pretty well on this entry.
I did do that for the recent call that y'all made. What is it? Odd something?
Oh, odd USD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As it was falling, I was adding a couple more buys in there.
Nice. Yeah, so for this entry right here, I took this entry using the zone strategy, but the zone strategy usually lines up with the SR as well. I mean with the pivots. Have you looked at the zone strategy?
No.
So basically the zone strategy, like what we're looking for is we're looking for price to break a structure like a K2SR zone, and then once it does, we try to write it to the next zone. So like right here, we took this buy because price broke this K2SR zone, and then we had a buy signal. So I'll put the requirements here just so I can show you. So this is the K2SR zone strategy. And the first requirement is to identify momentum. Momentum indicator. Identify break close past K2SR zone. So it's pretty simple. For this strategy, we basically want to identify the momentum, you know, the direction of momentum, looking at the K2SR, I mean the K2 momentum indicator. So right here, we had a buy signal, and then you want to identify break and close past the K2SR zone. So this is a zone right here. Price broke it and then closed above it. It's kind of similar to a break and retest strategy, except we're not waiting for the retest. We're just trying to hop into it right when we get that break because we already have the momentum.
Yeah.
And then lastly, you want to enter on the open of the falling candle. So that's why we entered this one right here. And I think it was for 55 pips, right? Yeah. Yeah, so this trade is still active right now. It's just really slow because of the spread. But since the Aussie market is opening pretty soon, it's probably going to move in a bit. So you're taking some buys as it was coming down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like since we have this lineup right here, you could have used the pivot strategy on the 10-minute or something, or even shorter. And then yeah, you could have taken some buys there. So it looks like you probably took a buy right here. And then or you could have taken this one right here. So it looks pretty good so far. Is that how you did it? You just went on the 10-minute?
Oh no, I actually saw it dropping or whatever, and me
Oh,
because
you
I
took some
know,
red buy?
yeah, I know it's gonna go up anyway. So I just placed. I think it was like 2 more buys on it.
Nice, nice. Yeah, you're on point because you can see here that so if you're using the pivot strategy on the shorter time frame, the 10-minute, you could have seen that, you know, price, there's an entry right here, which would have won. So that's a pivot entry right there. You'll win that for like 17, 18 pips. And then again, right here, there's another one. You would have hit that again for like about 18 pips. And then another one right here, you would hit that again for 18 pips. And then another one over here. So there's a whole bunch of entries here. So if you wanted to apply this on Forex, this was actually developed for Forex. We just started using it on indices because there was more volatility on indices. But then it's like a double-edged sword because indices has a little too much volatility where it's
Yeah.
kind of hard to gauge where to put your stop loss. So if you did it here like normally and you put your stop loss like how you normally did, you would have did perfectly fine because it's not moving all crazy, you know? Same with here, and same with here. So like you took those 2 entries after we called it, and it kind of lined up with this pivot entry right here anyways, because there's one entry right here, and then there's another one right here. So I think you should be pretty fine with those two. We just gotta, give it time, obviously, because it's just gonna take, especially for the specific pair, because AUD/USD is kind of a slow moving pair, like overall.
Yeah.
Unless there's like something going on, like there was U.S. news this morning or Canadian news, and that's why I pushed it up. But then now it's just moving back to a slow motion. But yeah, if you want to go and run some back tests on it, on the short for Forex, it works perfectly fine on here too. Like you can see there's a pivot entry right here. That would hit one. Pivot entry right here. That would have won. Another pivot entry right here. That would have won. Another one right here. This might have won if you moved your stop loss and profit. It looks like it was pretty close to TP, but then it swung upwards. So there's 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 possible wins, and then 1 loss right here, which is cool because you get 3 wins, 1 loss. It's going to happen eventually. And then same situation over here. As it swung up, there were some more entries over here.
I like this.
So you can see here, obviously you're going to run into losses, but if you just take like pretty much every pivot entry, there's a lot of opportunity there. So just by looking at this right here, it looks like there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wins, and then 1 loss. So literally, if you're just trading AUD/USD from, I guess, last night or yesterday until today, it would have been perfectly fine. It really becomes a numbers game. It depends on how many trades you take. If you're because if you're scalping, it's like really quick. Me personally, I don't really like staring at the chart all day, but I mean, if you can do it, it could work. And you can even
I'm trying to minimize the amount of trades that I take because I overtrade a lot. So
yeah, no, I used to be the same way. Like the 10-minute chart used to be my favorite, but I kind of came to that realization too, where I was like, shit, I'm trading way too much. So that's why I only trade on the 4-hour now. But if you wanted to scalp within the 4-hour, you could do exactly what I was mentioning earlier. Like you can take you can mark up the full move, and then you could go on the 10-minute. And then if you really wanted to scalp, you could just scalp within there. But if you want to like minimize your screen time and pretty much over trading, I recommend just trading on the 4-hour because the strategy works perfectly fine on the 4-hour, and you can make a ton of profit just doing that. Applying the pivot strategy. But if you are trading on the higher time frame, then I do recommend that you use the K2SRs just to know when price is getting near a rejection point.
yeah,
because obviously the support resistance on the higher time frames are going to be a lot more stronger than they are on the shorter time frame. So like you should probably just keep that in mind just in case. And that's why for AUD/USD, I have TP1 and TP2 below the resistance right here, because I know the resistance is coming up. So that just in case price is to get near that point, people should probably move their stop loss and profit once it reaches TP2, because that's like the worst feeling, like once you're in the trade and you're pretty nice in profit, and then it rejects
$90, and then now you
exactly
you in drawdown.
Yeah, and this happens. This happens too much, like way too many times. It's pretty much, it's all about risk management and really just not over trading. Because I've blown a lot of accounts over trading like early on, and I'm sure you ran through that too. It's a process. It's like it happens to everyone. A lot of people don't like to admit it, but it does happen more often than people realize.
I had to stop because I blew so much.
You're blowing. Oh, man. Yeah, no, that happened to me way too often, bro. Like, you don't want to.
I was like, man, I need to get a car. I need to, now I'm gonna have to stop doing this for a while so I can at least get all this, And
Yeah,
then with some excess money that I can put towards it, I'd be fine with, blowing that.
Yeah, no, I feel you. That's normal though. You're not gonna get it until you actually get it. You know what I mean? Because like if you don't step away from it like you did the right move. Because if you didn't step away from it, you just keep falling into that same circle, and that happens to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And then you got to talk about how Forex is a scam.
Exactly. Yeah, man. Yeah, bro. But yeah, this is pretty much the pivot strategy. It's real simple. It's probably complicated for you right now, but after you keep applying it like over and over again, you'll get used to it. For this right here, I actually don't think this would have been a good, or no, you took it because I called it because it was a SR entry. But
Yes.
I think this is going to happen here. I think what's going to happen is it's going to probably shoot up. It's probably going to come back down, or it's going to shoot up a little higher. And then it's probably going to come back down and retest the pivots as they move over here, because the pivots hasn't established an uptrend yet. You can see right here the pivots are still trying to cross over, because technically it's still in a downtrend, but it's attempting to swing over. I don't know if you do you see that? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. When this uptrend, the yellow is up top, right?
Exactly. So when it's an uptrend, the yellow and the green are up top, and then when it's a downtrend, the red and orange are down bottom. Or no, the opposite. So like right here it was in an uptrend, and then right here it was in a downtrend. And it looks like it's swinging back up. So it looks like it's just correcting back to the overall trend upwards, which looks pretty good for the most part. I'm thinking about maybe adding some positions to that as well. I don't know if there's a news today. Let's see. We got some news today. We got news at no, actually we're good. Dang, it's Wednesday already. I didn't realize this whole week flew by.
Crude oil inventories. Yikes. Oof.
Right?
The good old oil days. I remember that.
And I remember you were there when oil was dropping. Don't tell me you blew your account when that was happening. Did that happen to you?
I did. Yep.
Oh my God. It happened to so many people. So many people were like, oh, like they try to make so much money off it, and then they end up getting too greedy, and then they forgot to, or they weren't able to get out of the position. That's what happened.
I kept placing my buys a little bit too early, and the fact that I was over leveraging it didn't help at all.
Yeah, you got margin called out or something, huh?
Over margin called out. Let's just say the Hugo's account says I believe like negative 70 something.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because I remember some people were making a ton of money, but their spreads, I mean, their fees were crazy. Like they had that crazy swap spread fee or something like that, and it was more than their profit. So they ended up in negative, even though they made a ton of profit. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm never doing that. I'm glad I didn't hop into that because I probably would have lost my whole account. Man. Yeah, you gotta stay away from those trades, bro. But even for indices, they're moving crazy. I just watch from the sideline. I don't even try to hop into that because it could be good for a few minutes, and then the next hour later your account's just gone. And it's too common. It just happens way too often.
I try my hardest to only trade, when somebody gives a signal for, indices or whatever, but sometimes I may jump in and waste, $50-$60 here and there.
Yeah, I mean, if you're ever gonna do that, just make sure that there's an entry there, or like, so if we do make a call and you want to make a late entry, just wait for like a pivot entry on the shorter time frame. Because I trade on the 4-hour. I think Wade trades on the higher time frame too, like probably 30-minute or the hour. So if you wanted to hop into any of his calls, you could always do that, like enter a late call, but just go on the shorter time frame, and then just look for any pivot entries that you see. Because that's what I do sometimes too. Sometimes I'll see like Wade's calls, and then I'll want to hop in, but I'll just like I don't want to hop in at the high because that always happens where there's a buy and then you hop in late and then it just drops. And you're like, shit, I should have waited.
I gotta send that GIF. Hold on.
Oh, the thing. Yeah. Oh man, I think it's funny. Talking about the one on the computer.
Yeah. That's how my indice trading goes. I don't know why.
Yeah, man. No, this always happens. That's why you can't hop in randomly. You got to hop in when there's an actual entry there. But I mean, you did hop in for Nasdaq when that happened,
Yeah.
but it was just it's just the way that pair is moving right now. It's just all over the place. I think for if you're trading indices, the SRs are very important because if you line that up right there, you probably would have seen that that was going to happen. You probably could have moved your stop loss and profit to prevent getting stopped out right here.
I wish I did because I was up. I think I was up like $40 or $50 because I had entered at. Well, hold on, let me see the thing. 11,424.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, yeah, if you're using the exit strategy, you actually would have been good because TP2 would have been like halfway right here. And once that would have hit, you would have at least moved your stop loss and profit. So if that happened, you would have gone stopped out.
I did have my TP at, I think it was 11,470 something, but
oh, you were doing like, yeah.
Zuvi had told me to make a bigger TP because we all know that eventually it's gonna get back to 12,000 before the year's out. So I did that and shouldn't have did it.
Yeah, because now that I'm looking back at it, I was like, wait, you should have at least got out with some profit because it actually pushed up to halfway to TP 50%. So if you're doing the 1-to-1, you would have moved your your stop loss and profit right here. But yeah, you're trying to do like a 1-to-2 or 1-to-3. So if you do that, you're gonna take a lot more risk. Plus, if you identify this SR right here, you would have seen this double top happening. I mean, there's a lot of things you could have done, but it's already what's done is done. So there's nothing to really look back on at this point. But just for future reference, yeah, you should probably just keep it to a like I would keep your TP like this normally, but once you reach the higher, once you reach like halfway, then you can move your stop loss farther up. Because I think that would have been a better option for you. Because if you did that, see, you could have moved your damn, you did 1,400. That's a big move, bro. But I mean, it looked like it would have. So if you just analyzed it from here, let's rewind. Okay. Yeah, if you analyzed it from there, yeah, it looks like it would have moved up. So I don't blame you or Zuby for thinking that because it does look like it should have came up like that, obviously. But, the market is playing games on you always, just like it does to all of us. So, your vision was just clouded because it looked like it was such an easy play. Because if you look right here, it looks like an easy play as well. Like it shot up so nicely. And that's probably what's going to happen here. So it did come down a bit. But what might happen here is you can see it testing the pivot down here, right? So it might test the pivot again, and then it might skyrocket like crazy. Because I was mad about this. Don't get me wrong, I was fucking pissed last night. Because last night I took this trade, or yesterday I took this trade, and I was like, all right, cool, I'm good. But then this dropped, and I got stopped out right here, and then it shot up, and I was like, fuck, man. I almost fucking blew my FTMO. Bro, I'm like at 4,500 drawdown. Like my drawdown limit is 5,000. So I was like, I gotta call it a day. So I couldn't even trade today on the FTMO. So I'm just chilling until tomorrow, and then I'm gonna bounce back. So it's all good. But we're in the same boat. We both got fucked by Nasdaq today. So I mean, there's nothing to cry about. we both
again at the open of London. Try again.
Yeah, no, I think London is probably the best time to trade it, honestly. London and New York. So let's see. So if we got the London Open was See, this is what's been happening a lot lately. It's or I mean, even if this happened right here, you still would have taken this entry because if you use the daily US 30 strategy on NASDAQ, so London open right here, I think some people took this entry, but if you waited for it to give the first valid entry, this is invalid, this is invalid, this is invalid, this would have been the first valid entry. So if you took this, you would have been good and hit TP right there. Or I don't know like where you would put it, but if you use the same measurements that we use for US 30, 1500, you would have taken that for the daily entry for London. And then again right here, this would have been the daily entry for US. So you would have hit TP right there, and then you would have taken this entry right here. So it looks like it might be coming down actually, if it ends up playing out. Because it actually played out really good for US 30.
Yeah,
So
U30 I think had a sales signal confirmed, and as soon as that happened, everything started falling.
exactly. So like for US 30 right here, so this was midnight. I actually took this trade. I'm glad I stayed up late last night because I was literally about to go to sleep. And then at when I saw this call by Marcus, I was like, all right, I'm gonna take it, fuck it. So I took it, and then I went to sleep, and I was like praying in sleep. I was like, fuck. I should have never taken that trade. I was like, I hope I wake up to it like not stop loss. And I woke up and it was TP, and I was like, fuck yeah. And then this is the entry for the New York session. I didn't take this trade because I was just like, bro, like who would take that trade? It's like trending up so heavy. But just following the strategy because the strategy worked so well. If I did take it, it would have hit TP right here. So it would have been back-to-back wins using the daily strategy for London and for US. So I think this is probably the most profitable. Like if you don't want to be on the chart all day and you just want to take like one trade a day, I think this would be the most profitable because this like normally hits like almost every time.
Yeah.
Because this is where this is the only thing I trade on FTMO. I don't even trade FX. I trade FX on my personal account, and I don't even trade it like that crazy anymore. I only take like standard lot. I don't go anything heavier than a standard because that's just like extra profit. But the real money is in US 30. Because if you take this every day, this is like even on the smallest lot size. So if you're taking the 0.01 on Hugo's way, this is still 150 bucks. So you would have made 150 bucks, like 150, 170, somewhere around there with this. And then you would have made another 150 off this. So that's like 300 in the bag, 2 trades. And then you're done
I
for the day.
would use Hugo's, but they spread is still terrible.
Yeah, no, I agree. So like, yeah, for Hugo's, the profits aren't the same as with FTMO, especially because FTMO has the zero spread now. I mean the zero commission. So it works both ways. Like I take the trades on my FTMO, but I also take them on my Hugo's way. But if they close on my FTMO, I also close it on my Hugo's way as well. I don't trade them separately. I go off the FTMO data.
I use CoinEx because it's a lot cheaper to trade US 30 and NAS. I think it's only take like $20 margin for NAS, about 10 for SPX, and 60 for I think U30. It's either 50 or 60 for U30.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I've seen people trading US 30 with like 50 bucks. And I'm like, the fuck, how's that even possible?
Yeah, and then the spread is usually like it's between 1 and 2. So
Oh, that's not bad at all. Yeah, I might
you
have
got
to
to
try.
worry about pressing buy, and I'm $50 and loss just from spread.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, the Hugo's way spread and the fees are crazy.
I had to leave after they raised the oil spreads and acted like people wasn't gonna notice.
Oh, do they raise the spreads on oil too?
Raised like after the drop or whatever. Before the drop, the spreads was like 2 in the range of 2 and 4. But after that, it shot up to 12 and then 14, and it just kept going.
Yeah, that's crazy. I haven't even looked at oil. Have you traded oil since then?
Hell no.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know about oil. Oil is just, I feel like oil is like a whole nother beast, honestly, at this point, because it's dropped so much, it's kind of like, it's kind of hard to tell how it moves. Like, look at this gap right here. What the fuck is this? It's a huge ass gap. Like, how does that even make sense? There's like no gaps at all here. But then all of a sudden, they want to gap it on the fourth for whatever reason.
Gotta make
You know, I
that
think,
money.
yeah, I think there was news on that day actually. So if I look back at it, let's see. Oh, it was NFP. That makes sense. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah,
I say it moves just like U30, except you wouldn't get the profits unless you used a higher lot size.
yeah, exactly. I agree. So you might as well just trade U30. There's like no point in trading oil at this point. It's kind of similar with silver. Do you trade silver?
Nah,
Yeah, because I
I
see some
tried
people
it,
trade.
but
It's different, right?
it wasn't really that fun.
Yeah, because I tried to trade silver one time too, and it's like you got to use a heavy lot size. You might as well just trade gold. But it looks
I
like it
hate
plays out
gold.
well.
I can't stand gold. Like it's just waving. Just look at it waving. Like it don't make sense.
Yeah, no, it does it. Yeah, like this right here. I don't know what happened here. It had a sell signal and then it shot right up. I don't know if there was a support down there. Oh, actually, there was a support. So let's see. Actually, there was no support at that point in time. So I don't know where the fuck this came from. It's like, nope, not today. Damn. Whoever took that sell right there would have gone fucked. That's crazy, bro. There's nothing down there. Let's see. Maybe if there was a support on the higher time frame. Nope, not on 30. Oh, okay, I see it. There was actually support there on the hour. So that makes sense why it shot up. Oh no, what the fuck? There was no support there. All right, that's a trip. Yeah, I don't know what happened here. Something happened, but I can't explain. I can't explain that. All right, maybe it was cool. So let's see. There was a support right here. Actually, use a different tool. Use the ray. Go on the 1 hour on 10 minute. No, that still doesn't make sense. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not fucking with gold. Like, bro, that makes no sense because on the 4 hour, there it was like at support, I guess. Yeah, I'm not messing with gold, bro. It's not worth my time. I feel like so many people have blown accounts trading gold, and then so many other people that just get lucky. So I'm not messing with it.
With commodities, it ain't nothing but luck. Like it's no way you're gonna know what's gonna happen next. Like
Exactly. This is super unpredictable. Yeah, I'm not messing with gold. Well, I mean, I guess if you're trading it on the higher time frames, you'd be good, but I still wouldn't touch it. It's just it's just too risky.
and you need a high lot size for gold too. It's
Yeah, because if you're trading under like a standard, it's kind of, I mean, it's not worthless, but it's not good unless you get lucky and you hit like one of these hot streaks right here.
because I know with the regular mini lot or whatever is you're not making much unless it goes up $40 or $50. Then that's when you see profits. But other than that, it's
Yeah, and the spread on gold's pretty wide too. Like you've been looking at it right now, it's like 130. Is that how it normally is? Or 113 actually?
For me, it's never that high. The brokers that I use, I usually, like Trader's Way, that's what I used for gold specifically because they had, a decent spread. The only thing that I had the issue was you can only drop a 10 lot on it. So let's just say I blew a lot of accounts with it. But
Oh man.
because it's like, it moves like, it goes up $1, you make $1, et cetera, et cetera. Times that by 10 is drawdown it's not worth it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, that's why I stopped trading. I traded gold for like a month and then I made pretty good money and then I lost like a lot of it. So I was like, nah, this isn't, I mean, it just doesn't seem sustainable, you know? Like it's kind of hard to read. I mean, unless you're buying and holding it, then yeah, it would make sense if you're trading like, the actual future. But if you're trading it on Forex, it's kind of hit or miss really, in my perspective, just the way that I've traded it in the past.
Yeah, and it's never really like news for it. You usually just go off, you know, what the old people think of it, like the billionaires and stuff. Oh, the coronavirus, this, that, and the third, the dollar's weak. I'm gonna put it in gold. But even when they do put it in gold, gold will still drop before it goes up. Like, yeah, it's confusing.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, yeah, just looking at gold, like even on the higher time frame, it's just, I don't know, it's crazy. But I was looking at it and I was like, maybe I should just buy it whenever it dips, like dips to the pivot, because usually bounces back up. But I don't know, that's kind of like wishful thinking. You could probably do that until it comes crashing down. You're like blowing account. Because honestly, you never know what's gonna happen. Like right here, how are you supposed to determine that this is gonna happen right here? Like, bro, this was bullish as fuck. Like, look how bullish it was. And then someone's like, oh yeah, let me put like a 5 lots on here. Nope, stop loss. Damn, look at that drop. Well, that's crazy. Yeah, I don't know about this.
I probably would have cried if that happened.
And then the slippage happened, and then that one picture with the KOT. Remember that picture? I think
What was it
it's
like,
got
negative 16,000 or something like that?
yeah,
Couldn't.
bro, 21,000. God damn, that's crazy. Oh my god. Yeah, no, I'm messing with that. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, no, if that happened to me, I probably would have quit trading for a while. Because this is a crazy, like if you think about it, like you were saying, like the rich people when they keep buying and holding, bro. If this happened to my account, I would have been tripping. Because bro, this is a lot of money. You think about it. Because yeah, if you're holding this for a long time, like you would have seen your account drop like thousands, tens of thousands actually.
Now I can see why the people in Wall Street be killing themselves when the Dow drop.
Like that gif where that dude jumps out the window. Oh man, that's crazy. Yeah, no, for sure. Because a lot of people they bank their whole life savings on the stock market, and it's like
And
this
their
could happen.
retirement funds be in it too. So
Exactly. Like for me, I actually cashed out my 401k. I didn't even leave it in there because I don't want to deal with the craziness in the market. So I'm pretty much just hanging on to it. I'm probably gonna put it into real estate because I think that's probably the safest bet. It's,
especially where
it's
you live. I mean,
exactly, yeah. Like in California, I mean, it's expensive to buy stuff here, but the valuation is never really going to go down that far. I could pretty much just buy and then hold it long term, and then it'll regain value if it drops eventually. It's slow money for the most part, but this won't happen. I'll go from like 100K account to like zero in like a day. Like, bro, this happened in a month. That's crazy. From like March 10. So from March 10 to in 10 days, bro. In 10 days, you would have seen your account go to zero if you were like heavily invested in gold.
Your whole life just flashed before your eyes, just like that.
And then it shoots back up. You're like, okay, I'm cool. But at that point, you had been margin called out already. Oh, that's crazy, man.
You would have took out a new mortgage on your house.
Oh, it's like that.
Stole
You see that
cars.
that picture that I posted the other day? Where's
No.
that picture? Oh, that shit's funny. It cracks me up. Oh, this one right here. Have you seen this? Like, are you winning, Dad? He's like, no, son, pack your suit, go out the house. That thing's too funny. When I saw this, it's cracking me up because I was like, this really happens.
Every time somebody, Papa Pal say something, somebody homeless now. Oh, because he decided to, hey, everything's doing fine. No, it's not.
Right?
Or
I
when
mean, I think
Trump said that thing, what was it? It was something about Joe Biden the other day and how the Dow was doing good or whatever.
oh, and then it came crashing down. That was on Friday, I think. Yeah, that was on Friday when that whole drop happened. Yeah, this right here. Yeah, that's crazy. Oh no, that wasn't here, but that was it was right here on the 3rd. So it was doing perfectly fine, and then this happened, and then damn, it's like 3,000 points, 2,000 points in a day, or like in a couple days, 3rd to the 4th into this week. Yeah, man, that's crazy.
I mean, it's going to drop again, though, during election time. So you got to
Yeah,
stay
exactly.
prepared for that.
Yeah, that's why right now I'm a little more careful, and that's why I have like 3 TPs because when the market's good, I'll just have 2 TPs because we don't have to be too careful. But right now, it's like you never know when it's gonna reverse on you. Like it could be going bullish, and then all of a sudden Trump wants to say something, and it just drops, and then you're like, crap.
Especially if Biden wins, it's definitely going to drop.
Oh, for sure,
Definitely.
100%. We're gonna be short on the market all day. It doesn't
I'm
matter
going to
which
start
one.
shorting as soon as the results start coming in. All right.
I'm like,
I
oh,
see how this.
like Biden 90% gonna win. All right, let's short.
Sell it to
I mean,
25,000.
honestly, I think it's gonna drop regardless because the market's too propped up, bro. Like, you think about it, like just looking at the US 30, it's way too, I mean, this dropped in February, but this just doesn't make sense that, it's pushing up so high, but the economy is shit. Like, how are the companies doing so well when everything's closed and, you know, I don't
False
know, it just
numbers.
doesn't make sense. Yeah, I mean,
Because ain't no
false
way.
numbers.
I still don't understand how Tesla made a profit
Oh,
earlier
right.
this year.
Yeah, they were making like nonstop profit. I think it was like all 4 quarters, just straight back to back profit. And then he was like even making fun of the short sellers. He was like, like, yeah, you guys try to fuck with me, but then he just kept pushing it up and up. I was like, damn, that's crazy.
It's only so far that they can push it.
Yeah, exactly. It can only get pumped so much, Like it looks like right here it kind of dropped. It looks like it's probably preparing for another drop right here as well. It's kind of like it's probably at a crossroads right now because this point right here was when it dropped and then it kind of weakened. And then same setup right here. This could be like a trick because a lot of people are probably thinking like, oh, the same thing's gonna happen again. It's gonna drop a little bit and then it's gonna shoot up. And then people are probably think it's gonna shoot up again, but it might just dump down. Who knows? I mean, honestly, you can really do either way because if you really think about it, trading is a psychology. It's really all psychological. You really don't want to think what everyone else is thinking because then you can end up getting burnt.
I feel like it's going to get to around 28,500-ish, hover around that area, and then drop back down to around 26 or 25.
I could see that. It'll probably just it'll establish a lower low. So I'll have a lower high right here, lower low, lower high, and then boom, drop down. You know, I could
It'll
actually
be where it's supposed to be, and then everything to start back being,
yeah, it'll probably drop down to where it was in February or March.
If you do that, oof, I'm gonna drop a standard on it. I'm empty out the savings account, drop a standard.
You know what I was thinking? When it drops like that, you could literally put a buy stop at the pivot. So like as it comes down, you could literally put like a buy stop at the pivot, so that whenever it bounces back, like you would have missed a whole bunch of profit like down here, but as it bounced back up here, you could have literally caught this and pretty much rode it up.
Money coming from both ways.
Exactly. Yeah, unless you get fucked like these people are here. I'm pretty sure that's what happened here. People did what I just said, and then they bought, and then they shot it back down to spike people out, and then shot it back up. Man, they played too many games.
Can't trust them people, man.
I know, right? I mean, there's a ton of different scenarios that could happen. Honestly, it's really hard to tell. But yeah, I think if price ends up breaking 25992, I think if it breaks that point, we could be ready for a drop, and I'll probably get my shorts ready. Drop a
big one too.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's the next support, or I mean the next real support, I guess. Because it looks like it tried to drop right here, but then it shot back up. So that might be what might happen here. Might drop a little bit, then it might come up a little bit, and then it might just dump right after that.
That was probably around the time where they started pumping everything.
Seems like it, right? Yeah, because it went sideways right here during May, and then I think this is when they started pumping it late May, and it just started shooting up, and it came down and shot back up. I mean, it's only a matter of time until it comes back down.
They've been trying their hardest, but I don't understand why you continue to try and pump it like this if you know it's just gonna fall,
Exactly. They might as well just let it fall, and then people just put money back into it. Yeah, I don't know. The market is all over the place, and that's why I don't like to really swing trade. Like I like to just intraday or scalp it, because market could only go one or two ways. So it's either you're gonna win or you're gonna lose. So if you're gonna take a loss, you just take the loss.
You forgot the third part. Either you gonna win, lose, or blow your account.
Exactly, or blow your account and then it goes back into profit. Yeah, that happens to so many people. That's why I'm like, risk management is key, because the main key is just to survive, to the next day, because you never know when it's gonna come back.
I got bad luck with it, so I don't usually, try a lot to get back in or whatever. Because usually when I do choose to buy, it'll go down hella far, come all the way back up over $200, $300, and then I'm sitting looking like, dang, I could have had all that. Like,
exactly. That's exactly what happened to me last night with Nasdaq. I was so fucking mad because I entered it like 4 times. I entered it, I got stopped out. I entered it, I got stopped out. The 4th time I entered it, it just tapped my stop loss and it shot all the way up. I was pissed. I was like, man, I was about to drop another standard lot, but I was like, no, if I do that and it doesn't go my way, I'm about to lose this FTMO account. So I had to stop myself. I had to delete MC4 off my phone. I was like, not today.
Have y'all actually cashed that with them yet? Like, is it legit?
Yeah, no. So the first time I did it, I kind of got fucked over. They have a lot of technical issues. So on their matrix, it showed that I lost, right? But then I got a invoice that they were sending me money, like a payout. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And I looked at it, and it was a payout for that last month where I thought I got stopped out. But my dumbass, because I thought that account was done with. So I started messing with it, just taking crazy lot sizes. So I ended up blowing it for real. But then I still ended up getting paid out that first month uh, because I passed the first funded month. So here I am back at it. I know, man. I was pissed. I got pretty decent payout. I mean, the payout was like it was the refund of the fee plus like a little bit of profit. But then yeah, I mean after that I emailed them. They were like, "Oh, sorry, like you got to check your MT4. Like your MT4 is going to be accurate, not the matrix." And I was like, "Well, how the fuck am I supposed to know that?" And they're like, "Oh, well, sorry about that."
I lost all this money anyways. Might as well drop standards on that.
Exactly, because I was confused because the account was still there. Normally it says like failed, or something, but the account was still active. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I could still play around with it. So I played around with it, and I started taking like crazy lot sizes. And then it just, obviously it went past the daily loss because I was trading it like it was like a demo account. But yeah, so I did get paid out. So that's why I'm doing it again because it actually works. So
I think I'll try
that's
it eventually.
yeah. I mean, if you do it, I only recommend doing the accounts that are 50K because if you do more ones, it's not really worth it. You might as well just trade a normal account.
Only reason
Because like
the 100K I couldn't do is because I'd actually feel like it's a demo, and
oh, you're gonna start trading like a demo. Yeah, no, I feel you. That's how a lot of people are the first time. But this one dude, so Joy, I don't know if were you around when Joy was here? Let's see. Because I don't know if you took a break when Joy joined. So Joy is like one of my homies. He passed it like twice or three times. He's like on his third 100K account right now. So he's actually passing it, doing well. His brother just passed it right now too. He said like when your little brother passes the challenge, like his brother has no trading experience. This dude just started using it, and he passed it. So he's on his way to his verification right now. And what he does is they basically just take my daily US 30 call and they just let it run. And then they take another one like a twin position with it where they move the stop loss. So in that situation, they can hit like 2 times, 3 times profit if it ends up hitting. So that's why they're able to pass it so fast. So if you were to do it, that would be my recommendation. Just take the daily US 30. That way you don't fail the daily loss or even the monthly loss.
yeah.
And I hate these
Yeah.
scammers, bro.
How long did it take like the entire process of getting everything?
So the first time I did FTMO, like when I introduced it to everyone, it took like 2 days for me to hit the profit goal because I was like over leveraging like crazy. Well, I wasn't over leveraging, but I was doing max leverage, like max loss. So the max loss for the 100K was like 5K, and I was risking 5K per day because I was so confident with trades. So literally after 2 days, just 2 wins, I hit the profit target, and then I was done for the challenge. And then it was the same situation with the verification. The verification only took like a day. So in essence, it took like 20 days, which was the minimum. Because even though you hit the profit target, you still have to trade for a minimum of 10 days. So what I did was I hit a profit target and then I took penny lots, like just a 0.01 on like a cheap FX pair, just to pass the days. So literally it took 10 days to pass the challenge. Technically 10 days for the verification, but in reality is I only traded like 3 days because there were 3 back-to-back US 30 days. So I was literally just setting it and forgetting it and then hitting TP. But I don't recommend doing that now because you know how the market's moving now. Obviously, it's just all over the place.
Mess around and blow it.
Exactly, because we did that in May. So we did that in May before summer happened, and the market was moving pretty smooth. So I was able to take my trades. and just, just taking it, and that's it. But then once June hit in July, you know how it is during summer, the market gets all weird. So that's when I started to notice that the market was kind of fucked up. So I was like, I gotta like move my stop loss and profit. And then that kind of screwed me up because I was taking small profit, but then I would hit stop loss on like the next day. So then that's when I had to change up the strategy. That's when I started running the twin positions. So in that situation, I could set and forget one, but then I could move the stop loss for the second one. So in a situation where I get stopped out, um, I'd either I'd look like either 2 times or 3 times my profit, or I would just I'd only lose half. Because if I move my stop loss on the first one, then it's technically like half loss because I made profit halfway on one position and then I took a full loss on the full one.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying with that one? Yeah. It's a little complicated if you're not good at managing multiple positions, but once you do it enough times, it's pretty simple.
I'm just trying to. I honestly just want to make a good $60 a day, maybe 50 off trades, and I'd be good. Like after that, I won't really, care to trade for the rest of the day as long as I get that profit target.
Yeah, exactly. So, if your sleeping pattern, if you're able to like stay up during London session, then I would recommend just taking the daily US 30 for London and the daily for US, and that's about it. Because that's all I really focus on too. Like I still call Forex signals, and I still take the trades, but I take them with a small lot size. So I'm not like, I'm not sweating about it. I'm like, all right, if I hit it, I hit it. If I don't, I don't. Because what I'm doing for this is more so for people in K2. It's not for me because I make most of my money from US 30. And this is just extra. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think for you, if that's your goal where you don't want to trade too much, I would just focus on US 30 because one win on odd USD on a standard lot, this is like $500 or like, well, yeah, $500 if it's like a full TP. But if I hit TP1 where it's like $13, that's like $130. If you're trading US 30 with say like a 0.03, that's like nearly $600 right there. Because on a 0.01, that's 150 times 3, or it's 450 actually. So just depending on your lot size. But you're trading on CoinEx, so yours is probably different. But same difference. Just
Yeah.
depends on
It's usually
what.
just $1 for every point that it moves.
Oh yeah, then you're good. So like, yeah, if you keep growing your account trading US 30, you could just keep increasing your lot size. And then it's just, easy as that for the most part.
Yeah. As long as it's in reverse.
Exactly.
I have bad luck with it, and it terrifies me.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I used to be really scared of trading US 30 until because I didn't do a full back test, but the back test I'm still working on it for US 30. I pretty much ran through it. So this is I think this is US session. Yeah, so this is US session. You can see how many greens are there. Like literally this hits so often, like the way that it hits profit target, like full TP, is so often where it's like if you take it every day, you're gonna end up in profit regardless. At the end of the month. So like right here, February, if you took all the trades here, even during news, so when it's red right here, this is where news is. So if you take every trade, including when there's news, you could still end up in profit at the end of the month. Same with March right here. I didn't get to finish, the rest of the months, but just looking at these results, like it's crazy how profitable it could be. Because if you took these trades, so if you took twin trades for these would be times 2 times 3 each one. And then if you took these blue ones, it would only be half loss because you would move your stop loss for one of the positions. So you would hit. So technically, if you take every single trade, you're going to be in crazy profit. If it literally adds up, and then you could compound that. But looking at the Euro session over here, So January, I wouldn't count January because this, January is usually a crazy month. But looking at the other months over here, February and March, like these are some insane profits right here.
January was terrible because that's when everything started.
Exactly. Yeah. This is when they're like, okay, COVID's starting to happen, and it was a new year. So you look in January, obviously it was going to be horrible. Same with the U.S. January, I mean, it wasn't horrible, but it was still bad. But I think technically you still would have been in profit if you were to take these. I don't know. I just like the way I see a US 30. I see like this is like the way to go, long term, because it's something that you could scale. Like with Forex, it's a little different. You could scale with Forex, but it's kind of hard for you to trade if you got to trade all day. For US 30,
it all moves slow. You got to have a decent lot size on it to make the profit that you want.
Exactly. Yeah. For FX, it's you kind of have to actively manage your account. Like you have to move your stop loss and stuff like that. You have to eliminate your risk. But for US 30, you kind of set and forget it, and then pretty much just let it be.
Speaking of that, I need to look at UJ and try and see how this is gonna go.
Are you in it right now?
Yeah, I'm in the buy.
Here, buy. Yeah, it's like it's right at resistance.
I had bought on a 4-hour candle, and I'm hoping it doesn't fully, reverse and shoot back down. But if it doesn't, I was gonna take profit around 106, 450 ish. I think that's my TP right now.
Are you in profit right now?
Nah.
Yeah, you're in a tight position because it's like literally in between the two zones. So it could it could shoot up because it's establishing like a higher high and a higher low. So if it comes up right here and shoots up, that'll be a higher low right there. It's a higher high, higher low, and then it can shoot up. But I mean, we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. All right, bro, it's about to be 3, so I gotta hop on the next call. So if you have any other questions, bro, feel free to hit me up. I mean, we can hop on this again. This is cool. It's catching up and everything. But yeah, I'm gonna hop on the other call, and then I'll probably be available a little later. Oh, someone else here. Hey, Brian. See you. Hey, Brian, I'm about to hop off. I have to get on another call. Brian, if you want to set up a meeting, just send me a message on Telegram, and then we can set up, a meeting like this too. But I'm gonna hop on another call right now, so I'll see you guys a little later. But yeah, I'll be in the chat, guys. Catch you guys in a bit.